Good morning. We're going on the record at 9:38 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 10th, 2022. Please note that the microphones are sensitive and may pick up whispering and private conversations. Please mute your phones at this time. Audio and video recording will continue to take place unless all parties agree to go off the record. This is Media Unit 1 of the video recorded deposition of Donald J. Trump, taken by counsel in the matter of financial statements and investigation for the state of New York, Office of Attorney General. The location of the deposition is 28 Liberty Street, New York, New York. My name is Zeph Koda, representing Veritex, and I am the videographer. The court reporter is Linda Greenstein from the firm Veritex. I am not authorized to administer an oath. I am not related to any party in this action, nor am I financially interested in the outcome. Counsel and all present, including those remotely, have been noted for the record. Will the court reporter please swear in the witness, and then counsel may proceed.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Trump. My name is Letitia James, and I'm the Attorney General of the great state of New York. Before we begin, if everyone would please silence their cell phones, we'd appreciate that. I wanted to begin with some preliminary rules, some ground rules,
Sure.
if you don't mind, and then I'm going to turn it over to Kevin Wallace, who will conduct this examination. Mr. Trump, you've testified under oath many times. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so I take it you are familiar with the ground rules on for how testimony proceeds. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll skip that part of the introduction. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. And are you okay right
I
now?
am.
Okay. Good. What I will do is explain some differences between the procedures in a civil deposition and the testimony we are taking today, because this is an investigatory proceeding. You do not have a right to have an attorney with you in this investigation, but I have agreed that your attorney will be present today. However, this examination is not the same as a deposition in ordinary civil litigation, and your attorney's role will be limited to consultation with you in order to give you legal advice regarding privileged matters, if any, or your right not to incriminate yourself. Notwithstanding any objection by your attorneys, you are still required to respond to any questions unless your attorney specifically directs you not to answer. Anything you say in this examination may be used in a civil proceeding, and that can include a civil enforcement proceeding or a criminal action. Do you understand that?
I think.
Is that a yes?
I don't know what I did wrong, but the answer is yes, I do understand.
Thank you. You have the right to refuse to answer any question if a truthful answer to the question would tend to incriminate you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And any willful misstatement by you may constitute perjury. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Finally, this investigation is confidential. We request that you not discuss this matter, your testimony here today, and any documents that you have produced or may produce in connection with today's testimony with anyone other than your attorneys. Do you understand that, sir?
No. When you say confidential, we're not allowed to talk about this to the press, or?
Correct.
I believe what she
sorry.
means is what happened in this room, the details of what happened in this room.
It's okay.
Obviously,
It's okay with me.
Yeah.
And the fact that it happened, yes, but not the details.
Okay.
Neither you nor anyone acting on your behalf has the right to obtain a copy of the transcript of your testimony here today from the reporter. And neither you nor Veritex are permitted to release copies of the transcript to anyone other than representatives of this office, the Office of the Attorney General. Extensive note-taking or any attempt to create a transcript of the proceedings here by you or your attorneys is not authorized and will not be permitted. Are you taking any medication or drugs of any kind that make it difficult for you to understand or answer any of the questions today, sir?
No. An aspirin.
And are you feeling okay today?
Yes.
And are you sick today?
No.
Okay. And do you have any conditions that could prevent you from giving full, complete, and truthful answers to any questions today?
No.
And is there any other reason why you cannot give full, complete, and accurate testimony here today?
Well, you have to, I'll be doing this.
Yes.
No.
No, other than what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm not going to turn it over to Kevin Wallace. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Trump.
Good morning.
As the Attorney General mentioned, my name is Kevin Wallace. Sitting next to me is Alex Finkelstein from our office. And sitting next to him is Samantha Stern, who's a paralegal with our office. They're going to be assisting me during the day today. I'm going to take a moment just to correct one thing from the read-in, is that we go off the record not when both parties agree, but when the Attorney General directs that we are off the record. During these proceedings, the Attorney General controls the record. Mr. Trump, what did you do to prepare for today's examination?
You can start. You can read your sentence.
Very little.
Read your statement.
If you'd like, I could read the statement, but very little.
Well,
Excuse me.
Read the statement.
can we go?
Yes, he would like
I will
to.
now use my moment to go off the record.
Thank
Just a
you.
moment.
Sorry. Just read the statement.
We're going off the record at 9:44 a.m. We're back on the record at 9:45 a.m.
Mr. Trump, I understand you have a statement that you wanted to read into the record.
Yes.
Would you please want to read into the record?
Yes.
Would you please feel free to start at any time?
Thank you very much. This is the greatest witch hunt in the history of our country. There has never been another president, or perhaps even another politician, who has been persecuted, harassed, and in every other way unfairly treated like President Donald J. Trump. What Letitia James has tried to do the last number of years is a disgrace to the legal system, an affront to the New York State taxpayers, and a violation of the solemn rights and protections afforded by the United States Constitution. She developed a political platform and made a career out of maliciously attacking me and my business before she even understood or was elected or reviewed one of the millions of pages of documents we willingly produced. We willingly produced these documents. James proclaimed that she, quote, looks forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day suing me and then going home. This is during her campaign. She announced that she was obsessed with, quote, taking me on, and that her eyes were set on Trump Tower, quote, Trump Tower. She even assured her supporters as an election promise very strongly that, quote, we're going to definitely sue him. Before she even knew anything about me, we're going to be a real pain in his ass. He's going to know my name personally. And she claimed I was on an illegitimate, and that it was an illegitimate president. Quote, illegitimate president. In her AG speech, she promised to, quote, shine a bright light into every dark corner of Trump's real estate holdings. Shortly thereafter, she vowed to, quote, use every area of the law to investigate President Trump and his business transactions, and that of his family as well. She knows nothing about us. This is when she knew absolutely nothing about us. It was very unfair. This whole thing is very unfair. As a pretense for commencing her bogus investigation, Letitia James relied on the testimony of Michael Cohen, a convicted felon and liar. The Southern District of New York astutely described Cohen as a man who, quote, repeatedly used his power and influence for deceptive ends by engaging in, quote, extensive, deliberate, and serious criminal conduct consistent with a, quote, pattern of deception that permeated his professional life. This was in a long, many-page statement by him. It only gets worse. This is the witness, a stone-cold loser, a real loser, that she used to justify her obsessive work, her obsessive investigation of me, even though he got in civil and criminal trouble for representing himself on a taxi cab company that he had and other things, and also others as a lawyer. I once asked, if you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? I was asking that question. Now I know the answer to that question. When your family, your company, and all the people in your orbit have become the targets of an unfounded, politically motivated witch hunt supported by lawyers, prosecutors, and even the fake news media, you really have no choice. We cannot permit a renegade and out-of-control prosecutor to use this investigation as a means of advancing her political career. New York deserves better, and this country deserves better. Being a prosecutor is a very important thing. This is a vindictive and self-serving fishing expedition, the likes of which this country has perhaps never seen before. If there was any question in my mind, the raid on my home 2 days ago, Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach, Florida, by the FBI, just 2 days prior to this deposition, think of it, wiped out any of that uncertainty. I have absolutely no choice because the current administration and many prosecutors in this country have lost all moral and ethical bounds of decency. Anyone in my position not taking the Fifth Amendment would be a fool, an absolute fool. One statement or answer that is ever so slightly off, just ever so slightly, by accident, by mistake, such as it was a sunny and beautiful day when actually it was slightly overcast, would be met by law enforcement at a level seldom seen in this country, because I've experienced it. The United States Constitution exists for this very purpose, and I will utilize it to the fullest extent and defend myself against this malicious attack by this administration, this Attorney General's office, and all other attacks on my family, my business, and our country. Accordingly, under the advice of my counsel and for all of the above reasons, I respectfully decline to answer the questions under the rights and privileges afforded to every citizen under the United States Constitution. This will be my answer to any further questions.
Include among the rights and privileges afforded every citizen under the United States Constitution, does that include the Fifth Amendment right to avoid incrimination?
Yes.
So your counsel?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I will just note for the record that was a lengthy statement. Obviously, we disagree with a lot of the characterizations, but to keep today's proceedings moving, I'm going to move on to my questioning. So, Mr. Trump, I take it you are not going to answer any questions about your preparation today with your counsel. Is that correct?
Then, should I say this, or should I respond to that?
Just read that.
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein in its entirety, I decline to answer the question.
Okay. Mr. Trump, the focus of our investigation and what we are primarily going to cover today involves the presentation of your statements of financial condition between 2011 and the present. I take it you are generally familiar with those statements. Is that correct?
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein in its entirety, I decline to answer the question.
Okay. Did you review any of those statements from the period 2011 to 2021 during your preparation for today's testimony?
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein in its entirety, I decline to answer the question.
Counsel, I think we can all stipulate that if he says same answer, we will all understand it
Great.
to be the same invocation.
That's correct.
To speed things up.
No
Okay.
problem.